Hello everyone, welcome back to the second lesson of KS coding. If you have not watched the first video, please go back and watch the first video before coming back to this video. If you're having hard time finding the link to the first video, you can always go back to the Google Classroom because it will contain all the links to each lesson. And also for every lesson, please do complete a short quiz that will be posted in Google Classroom. So they will help you to understand and reinforce what you have learned in each lesson.
All right, so today, what are we going to talk about? Today, we're going to talk about electricity, circuit, Arduino, and MakeLab. So electricity. So what do you think of when you hear the word electricity? Well, there's a picture of Pikachu, right? electric type. And you might be thinking of static electricity. And of course, you might be thinking of the normal electricity that we use every day. So to talk about electricity, we have to really go down to like the fundamental particle called atom. So atoms, I'm sure many of you have learned already. Just review. So atoms are what? A small particle that make up everything that has mass and takes up space. So the underlined word is actually matter. So, okay, everything that takes up mass and takes up space is called matter, and they're made of what? Atoms. Okay. Now, atoms are made of subparticles. Well, two regions are there. There's a region you can see in the picture. The center is called nucleus, and the outer one, surrounding the center, is called electron cloud. And within the nucleus, there are two particles. One is proton, and you may have neutrons too. And within the electron cloud, of course, we're going to see electrons. The reason I'm talking about this is because, as you can see from these three particles, I added here like charge, right? Proton is positive charge, electrons are negative charge, and neutrons don't really have a charge. Now, understanding what positive means and negative means does not really matter. The point here is that like charges, they tend to repel, and opposite charges attract. Okay, so that's what you should know. By the way, this picture is not accurate, but it's a pretty good representation of what atom. It gives you the idea of what atoms look like. Okay, it's not in scale at all. Okay, now, so these electrons, when they flow, or even protons when they flow, we call that electricity. Or so the word here. Oh, maybe let me move my face a little bit. So electricity is associated with presence and motion of electric charge. So it doesn't really have to be electrons, but it's usually electrons because electrons are a lot lighter than protons. But current, well, I'm sure you have heard the word current, is a flow of electrons over time. So it actually quantifies electricity. Okay. So if you read in the back of your electronic devices, maybe you have seen it, but you might see like 2 ampere, maybe the capital letter A, that represents current. Okay. So when we say current, yes, you can think of it as water current, meaning water flows, right? Just like water flows, electrons or electric charges can flow. Okay, it doesn't flow just spontaneously. There's a reason why they flow, which you will talk about later, maybe not today. But when the charges flow, we call it a current. Now you can have large current, meaning a lot of charges are flowing, and you may have small current. That means fewer charges are flowing. And the way to quantify given number is called current. Okay. Now, electricity doesn't happen all the time. Okay. So some materials are able to let charges flow. Some materials are not. They do not. Okay. So conductive materials. When we say conductive materials, that means electrons are able to flow with low resistance, meaning they don't get resisted a lot. So it means it flows freely. Okay. Non-conductive materials, we call them insulators, like rubber. It doesn't let electrons flow easily, meaning really high resistance. So if you look at the right side, right, there's a ceramic in here in between wire, and there's a metal piece in between. So as you can see, even if you turn on the switch, because of the battery, when it connects, there's electricity flowing, there's a current, right? You can see it. But here you don't see it because why? The ceramic blocks it, meaning it doesn't let electrons flow. That's why there is no current in non-conducting or insulating material versus conducting a material called metal. So metals are usually conductive. Now there's one more piece. One is this one's called semi-conductive. Now semi means like here and there both a little bit, right? It's exactly right. So semiconductive materials are really useful because why? They're both conductive and non-conductive depending on its condition. Okay. So the best example of semiconductor is silicon. Okay. All right. Now think about this. What type of materials do you think are used in electronic devices? Well, it's actually all of them. Okay. Depending on which case. So if you want to make sure that every time electrons are flowing, you want to use conductive material. And if you want to make sure that some parts of the device, you don't want let electrons flow, for example, like the cover, you want to make sure that you make it with non-conductive materials. And lastly, if you want to make sure that you can control how much flows, when to flow electrons or not, you might be wanting to use semiconductive materials, okay? So choosing materials are very important. But now maybe you're thinking, hey, why are we talking about electricity? This is coding class, right? Think about why for a second. So if you look at any electronic devices, for example, by the way, on the right side, there's a GIF file of how iPhone looks like inside. This is the motherboard. And guess what this is? Believe it or not, it's like credit card usually now has chips, right? Chips. So this is how a chip looks like underneath, okay? So everything is a circuitry. It's like made of what? Bunch of circuit boards. So that's why we're learning about electricity a little bit, because why? When we have a circuit board, this little wires, this you can see these highway looking things, right? They let electrons flow, okay? So when the current is flowing, right, it not only transfers energy, but it can also transfer information, okay? So on the left side is Simpson, right? The Simpsons. And what she's doing is she is creating what? Smoke signal, right? So by letting some of the smoke go and off, on and off, and on and off, she can create some sequence or pattern of smoke that other people from far can understand. Same thing for electricity. By letting current flow or not flow in certain pattern, the machines can understand each other. So this is why we learned a little bit about electricity, right? So a quick summary. Electricity is associated with the presence and motion of electric charge, usually motion of electrons, but not limited to electrons. Current is flow of electric charge. And the reason why, oh, never mind, we'll get to that. Now, conductivity, we also mentioned. Conductivity is like determines how easily electricity or electric charges can flow. We said conductive materials can easily flow, and we said insulators or non-conductive, they don't let electrons flow easily. And semiconductive is like semi, like middle, okay, depending on situations you can control. And we said the reason why we study about current or electricity a little bit is because this current can carry or send or receive information. And what's important by information? How do we communicate with the machine or computers? By coding. That's why we have learned a little bit about electricity. Now, remember from last time, we said coding is what? An instruction that we give to computers how to transmit, manage, and store electric signals. Now, what does that mean? It means not only we can send information, by sending the right code, you can actually store some of that information or instruction into a storage device, or you can give instruction for this device to manage other signals. So coding is very important because why? It's a set of instructions that can do all this. So good coding is very important, and it follows the following tasks. Number one, security. So think about it. Why is security important? Well, if you think about it, if you have information, right, you want to protect that information. You don't want to let all those go out. Like maybe you're thinking, okay, social media, it's all about showing yourself to outside, but there's a line, right? There's a line. You don't want to be sharing everything, every personal information, because why? They might use it in bad way. Okay, so security is very important. You want to make sure your coding have instruction to guard from outside, okay? Now, fast transfer is also important. Imagine you're calling someone, right? You want to say how you're doing, right? And it takes hours to get there because sending this information to someone else, even texting, it requires coding, right? Because it requires what? Transfer of information. So imagine your coding is really bad and then it just takes so much time because it's not efficient. Would you be able to text someone if it takes 2 minutes? I don't think anyone can even wait maybe even 10 seconds nowadays, okay? So fast, efficient transfer of information nowadays is especially important. Generate insights. So your coding should be something insightful, not just something that doesn't fulfill the task. So keep those in mind. Moving on. So in order to do all this, right, we'll be using Arduino board. Hopefully everyone has seen the video last week about like the make kit. And one of the components I will show you here is called Arduino Board. Okay, so this is really a cool device. If you buy it, please be careful. Now, even though we said you don't have to purchase it to complete the class, without buying it, it might be a little boring because the fun part of this class, I think, is building up your own machineries, right? So Arduino, in Italian, it means strong man. The reason why we use this is, number one, it's really widely used. And there are many versions of it. And it's a really easy and fun way to start robotics, okay? Now, and what this board does, it receives our instruction and it gives that instruction to other devices, other electronic devices. So basically, this is like the hub. This will connect us to other electronic devices, as we'll see throughout the course. Okay. Now, so how does this work? Well, I already mentioned it a little bit. So what this board does is it gets instruction from us. We'll be coding using block coding, right? And then we'll give this instruction to this device. And this also requires some sort of power. Because why? Electricity is the one that will transfer all this. So that's why if you see this, just like the picture, the silver part is where the power where the signal will be received from us, okay? All right, anyway. And what it does is this will give instruction to other devices, for example, light bulb to whatever we want. For example, we can say blink 10 times and it will blink 10 times, right? Because in the center, I'm not sure you can see or not, but in the center, do you see that little square? Now, there's something called microcontroller. It's like the brain, okay? It's like the brain that manages everything. So if we go back, right? If you go back a little bit, there we go. You see this in here? That is like the brain. It's the one that receives instruction from us. And do you see that it gets it and then it sends that to everyone else? It's like the hub. It's like the brain headquarters where it instructs everyone else what to do depending on our instruction. That's why we need to code really nice.